What the heck is happening, H2 family friendlies, roller Bentleys, and mild cougars alike? I'm your guide, Q, and welcome to a very different subreddit, r/relationships. This is a place where people tell stories of problems in their relationships, and I'm gonna kind of give some advice and my perspective. I really want you guys to give your perspective as well, because I have a limited experience of the world just like we all do, and it might be really important for anybody that sees this video and is in a similar situation to get a lot of perspectives on it. So let's get right into the stories. Boyfriend 21 male is constantly stalking me, 21 female, on social media, snooping through my phone and interrogating me about every little thing. Throwaway account because he knows my Reddit account, of course. So my boyfriend and I have been dating for about 7 months now, and he is my first serious relationship. I'm his first girlfriend ever. We live about an hour away, so we see each other 1 to 2 times a week. Our relationship is pretty good. We occasionally fight about things, including what I'm about to say, but ultimately I love him and he does a lot for me. The problem is, he's been stalking me a lot on social media, and I know it's at an unhealthy level. He wasn't like this at the start of the relationship, and it has recently gotten out of hand. He will do things like check my activity on Snapchat and Instagram, checks my Twitter, and recently he found my main Reddit account. Not to mention, he also has my location through my phone. He'll be checking these things, and if he sees something I liked on Twitter, for example, he will interrogate me about it. Another example is he will check my activity on Snap and Instagram, and if I was active but I didn't text or reply to him, he will interrogate me about that too. And he'll be like, "How come you were active but you didn't reply to my texts?" If he sees that I went to the grocery store just to pick up something for 5 minutes, he will question me about that too. Meanwhile, I barely check his activity online and location. Don't even get me started on how he tries to snoop through my phone and my messages. He had me put his fingerprint on my phone so that he always has access to it. Whenever I'm with him, I'm always careful to take my phone with me so he doesn't try to snoop. Whenever he snoops, I get upset because I feel like he's invading my privacy. He accuses me of hiding things, but I'm not. He then tells me, "If you aren't hiding anything, then it should be fine if I go through your phone." It's honestly really exhausting to always be nagged and interrogated for small little social media things. And I'm getting creeped out that he's constantly checking it even when I tell him to stop. When I tell him to stop, he says that he's just curious and wants to be involved in my life, but I feel like I communicate with him pretty well. When he does this, it makes me not want to talk to him. I tried to unshare my activity and location with him, but he flips out and will not leave me alone until I share it back. So I've learned to just accept that he does this and comply to keep him happy, even though it's not what I want at all. I told him that he's acting insecure and that he clearly doesn't trust me if he feels the need to stalk me all the time, and I tell him that he is making me uncomfortable. He always just shuts me down when I say how I feel, and he says, "That's just how I am. If you don't like it, then leave." I need advice on how to have a conversation with him about how I'm feeling without him shutting me down and how to establish boundaries. This is literally driving me insane, and I'm so exhausted constantly feeling like I have to watch myself when I'm on my phone so I don't get extra questions from him. Okay, so here's my take on this situation. It sounds like you're living in a constant state of fear, which is no way to exist within the context of a relationship. I think that's really bad. And I know that you said that this guy does a lot for you and you love him, and if you really want this all to work out, you might need to call him on his bluff. If you really want him to change, you might have to say, well, this might be the way you are with constantly checking in on me and stalking my social media and getting angry at me if I do something online but aren't immediately responding to you at the same time. Like, if that's the person that you are, then I can't be with a person like that because it makes me uncomfortable, it makes me feel like I need to walk on eggshells, and you might have to say, I'm leaving. If you can't change, if you can't get better and trust me more, then I can't be with you, and see if, since he's so obsessed with you, if he's willing to make that change. I mean, it sounds like he's too far gone, but I can't decide that. I don't know the guy. So maybe if you call him on his bluff, it will get better, but that's just my perspective. Let me know what you guys think, because this is definitely, currently in its current state, is not a healthy situation at all, in my opinion. Boyfriend 31 male got/did nothing for my birthday. For his birthday, I took him to dinner. The next day we went to a barbecue/cake at his parents' for him and got him a few small gifts. He seemed excited about his birthday, helped his parents with the plans, and mentioned several times the week prior, "Ooh, what are you getting me?" etc. He got me nothing. He didn't ask to take me out to dinner. He did send a happy birthday text at least. I don't have family or friends really in the area we live, so I just ended up spending my birthday alone and didn't get a present from anyone. I wasn't mad, but it did hurt my feelings. I mentioned it to him. He told me I was silly to celebrate birthdays at my age and that they aren't important to him and it's just another day. I found this rude and hypocritical because he made a much larger deal about his b-day and celebrated it, but suddenly it's not appropriate for me to have wanted to go to dinner or receive a card? His attitude towards it has upset me far more than the lack of gift. Am I being a bit childish for being bothered about a birthday, or is his behavior as unacceptable as I think? Honestly, if this had been his policy the entire time, and like when his birthday was coming up he informed you that like, hey, I don't make a big deal about birthdays, I don't expect you to do anything for me, it's just not a thing that I really care about celebrating, don't expect me to care about your birthday, this would have all made so much more sense. But the fact that he got so excited for his birthday and everybody did stuff and he was like, "Ooh, what are you getting me?" that just makes this absolutely ridiculous, and he expects for everybody to make a big deal about his thing and for you not to care. And the fact that he says you shouldn't care about birthdays at your age when he's 5 years older than you is just so stupid. I mean, I don't know if it's a reason to break up with him, but at least point out his hypocrisy to him. And if he doesn't understand his hypocrisy, then he just lacks self-awareness entirely, and it might be time to break it off. Let me know what you guys think. My 21 female, boyfriend 26 male, apologizes for literally everything, and it's starting to get concerning/somewhat annoying. My boyfriend is strange, for lack of better words. Not in a bad way, just that he has these harmless little quirks, and I don't have a problem with any of them. It's all part of what makes him as a person, and I love him, quirks and all. Although one thing he does that has started to become more frequent is his apologizing. It's not like it's a new thing, but it's starting to bother me, and I feel awful for snapping at him whenever he apologizes. Like I said, it's not a new thing. We met him online, he used to live in the Netherlands, and we were talking for a few years before he came to visit me. The first thing I said when I saw him was something like, "Wow, you're taller than I thought you would be." Not word for word, but something like that. He's 6'1", and his immediate response was to apologize? I don't know, I thought it was cute and I assured him that it was fine, but he doesn't have to apologize for his height? A little strange, but cute. He would apologize for things that he doesn't really have to apologize for. Like something that happens frequently would be that when we're on a date, he'd have to use the bathroom. He'd apologize, excuse himself, give an explanation, apologize again, do his business, come back, and then apologize again. Like, he doesn't have to apologize for using the bathroom, much less apologize 3 times. I already explained to him that he doesn't have to apologize so much, or apologize at all, for taking care of a basic human need, and he'd just go, "Oh, sorry." It's starting to get a little frustrating. Fast forward a few years and we now live together in an apartment, and oh my gosh, he apologizes so much for little to no reason. Like I just point out little things, not in an angry or annoyed or accusing tone, just as an observation like, "Oh, you ate the last cookie," or "It's your turn to make dinner tonight," would result in a bunch of apologies, like "It'll never happen again," etc., etc. It bothers me because his apologies are 100% genuine. You can tell that he feels really bad even though there's nothing to be sorry about. It's something my parents/sister have noticed too, apparently. They weren't bothered by it, just a little concerned and asked if he was okay. My sister joked about that if she didn't know me/how our relationship was, she would assume that I'm abusing him or something. I don't know if this is related, but he tends to get startled easily. He'd flinch/jump if I'd make any sudden movements, and then apologize for it. Whenever I'd ask him if he's okay, he'd say that he's fine, apologizing for worrying me, etc. I can't tell if I'm annoyed or concerned. Like, I'm kind of concerned at this point because it's now beginning to be a bit much, but annoyed because I really don't understand what's going through his mind, why he feels like he has to apologize so much. We never fight, I don't raise my voice at him, I don't hit him. All of these things, the apologizing, the flinching, has been there since the start of our relationship, only it's been getting worse. He won't talk about it and he always says he's fine. So when I was in the middle of reading this, I started to get annoyed myself. I can't imagine dealing with this on a daily basis, him apologizing for every small thing, doing it over and over again. But once we got to the flinch response section of it, it led me to believe that maybe something bad happened to him in the past. Maybe he just had very authoritarian parents that made him think like everything he did was wrong, and he had to constantly apologize and explain what he was doing and just apologize for his existence, basically. And I'm not trying to, like, diagnose him with anything or say that he was abused or anything like that, but if he's not willing to talk to you about any of this stuff, I think that he should definitely be in therapy. I mean, even people without mental illness should be in therapy to kind of talk about their problems and figure out what might be the underlying issues or things that they can do to help out that situation, because it sounds like this isn't a good situation for you. I think anybody would start to get annoyed or concerned, like, regardless of what the cause of it is, it sounds like it's making your life just a worse quality because you're being annoyed all the time, and also feeling bad for him because you know that he's experiencing that guilt and shame for doing something that's very mundane and normal. So I think if you want to stay with this guy, and I do think he's totally redeemable, like he's not a bad person from what I've heard here, I don't know him personally, but you need to bring this issue to him, because him saying sorry all the time, yeah, it hurts your relationship, it also could hurt a lot of other aspects of his life, like including work, because it just makes you come off as a not at all confident person, and people are not going to like trust you as much, or not, maybe not trust you as much, but maybe not trust you with certain tasks because you don't seem confident in doing them. That's kind of beyond the point. But one, I think you should bring this to his attention, like in a serious sit-down conversation way, and encourage him to possibly seek therapy for whatever underlying issues might have led to this point, because I've been a person that has said sorry too much, not to this extent, but I've said sorry way too much in the past, and you can really replace it with other words. Like, if you say sorry too much and somebody calls you out on it, obviously you shouldn't say, I'm sorry for saying sorry too much. You could just be like, you're right, it is silly to say sorry about these things, and it just might take an extra second of thinking, because your automatic response will be to say sorry, but it is something that can be corrected if you work on it over time, especially with the addition of help from a therapist. But I'm sorry to have gone on for so long about this. I just really feel bad for this guy and this girl, and I think it is a rectifiable situation, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you liked this look at r/relationships. My girlfriend has been trying to get me to cover this subreddit for a while, and honestly, before I was even with her, I was trying to think of a way to cover this subreddit, but I was a little bit afraid to talk on these issues, but I figure if I'm just giving my opinion, and if you guys help out by giving your opinions as well, we can kind of just all talk about stuff like this, and maybe people can learn from it and get better in their relationships, or at least have some perspective to they're not alone in the situations they're dealing with in life, and get advice from all kinds of other people. So I enjoyed covering this subreddit. I hope you enjoyed it. Skate on to the best of your abilities. Make sure you're drinking more water. You can find all of my Amazon affiliate links to the equipment I use and my social media links in the description down below. I'll see you very soon. I think I already said that, but I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Peace out, Cub Scouts.